family relationship. And specifically, I have come up with 4 scenarios, which I'm going to discuss in detail one by one. So if you have any question, you can put into the session. Okay, Lily, yes, this session is recorded, and don't mind by continuing in this training means you have given me your consent for it to be recorded, and also from my side for my personal and commercial usage. Okay, so this one is in the recording, and for those who want the recorded version, I mean the session, then I'll put it into the premier version of my integrated estate planning online course. But that one is paid version, means you have to pay monthly fee. I'll give you a promotional code later on. Okay, so not only this particular training that you can get, but all the other of my previous training, all by topic, you can actually have access to it as well, all for 1 monthly fee. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. So today we're going to discuss 4 scenarios, and number 5, you can ask any other scenario if you have. If we have enough time, then we will discuss about it. Okay, so our session, I will limit it to up to 9:30. I don't want it to be too long, so it'll be a bit general because this is you can see is advanced topic. And from those who have a registered background, I'm sure many of them are here. We have various background, including people who are actually none from the industry. Okay, they actually want to know more about some of this planning scenario, and maybe they need some consultation help. Okay. All right. So there are a few things that we need to look at when we look at this particular topic today. First thing we need to look at is the Distribution Act 1958, amended in 1997. And you look at it, actually is today, whatever we have discussed are limited to non-Muslims only. Okay, if you have any requests, then I can do a session on Islamic estate plan based on my practical knowledge. Yeah. Okay, so for Distribution Act is actually in West Malaysia, Peninsular Malaysia, and Sarawak. Okay, in Sabah, actually, you don't use this one. Okay, for those who tune in from Sabah, you actually use your own in the Estate Succession Act 1960. Okay, so today our focus is just on the Distribution Act. And after the amendment in 1997, I'm not sure how many of you are updated on this. I'm sure people who are in the industry, whether you are CAP, you study your CAP, your RAP, and especially many of you are my ex-student for Module 2, Insurance and Estate Planning. You would know that actually in 1997's amendment, we actually have a parents that comes into the picture. Okay, I'm not going to detail if you are not familiar with this, and you can either Google it online to get the information, or you can just print screen. All right. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when a person dies without a will, then this is how the law will specify who can get what. All right. So when we say that people who are in here, we talk about spouse, for example. Spouse here means a husband and wife are equal. Means we don't care whether it's male or female spouse, and it must be registered. Okay, the marriage must be registered to be recognized by law. Okay, so if a person is not registered, that's why today's topic is quite advanced. When we talk about complicated situation, like you look through whether they have the marriage is registered, means whether they are married legally, and then whether they are divorced, and then remarriage, or kind of thing. Okay, there's a question who ask issue. Issue means children and children of the children. Okay, if the father died and then leaving behind 3 sons, and then one of the sons predeceased but leaving behind 2 children, the 2 children will inherit. Okay, that's why legally they call it issue. All right. Okay, we still have people coming in. Okay, never mind. Let's continue. Okay, so without a will, under the Distribution Act, there's another thing that you have to watch out. There are certain category of people that are not recognized in law. Okay, remember just now we talk about spouse, we talk about issue, we talk about parent. These must have a legal status in order to inherit. Okay, that's what it means. So because today we talk about complicated situation. So one of the possible situation is that we have this one called partner. Okay, I'll tell you one of the four scenarios. Actually, all the four scenarios I kesa benar. Of course, I won't mention name, but I have handled all these cases and done planning for them. Okay, so my strength is in all the practical, all the kesa benar. I have all the practical experience to share and to do comprehensive planning for clients, and also to support you and also to train you on along this area for you to become a very competent estate planner. Okay, so they are
Oh,
usually
sorry.
partner means are married.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then there's a second one. This word is a bit not so nice, but it's a legal word called illegitimate children. Means children born outside marriage. Okay, so this is my definition. I just need to remember is children born outside marriage. What do you mean by outside marriage? It means it can be before, or it can be another set of partner, another partner. Did you get my? All right, so it's okay. This one is just general. Later on, I'll go into the fourth scenario. Then you can see it much more clearer. All right, if you have questions, just put into the chat box. However, here I put the asterisk here. Recently, there's an interesting court case who actually says that the court rules that the child born outside the marriage of the man actually won a court case to be considered as the child and to be able to inherit the deceased estate. Okay, the deceased is a male. Okay, these are legal questions. Today, we will not touch so much on the legal question, but I'm just going to highlight some of the issues. And then the more important thing is how we do the planning for the clients. Okay, again, I'm going to talk from the practitioner point of view. Okay, I know many of you can come from different background, but majority we are either in insurance, unit trust, financial planners. Okay, we also do have professionals and some other friends with us. Okay, the law has not changed because it's just what we call a court case that actually point towards that direction. All right, law change of law means it must be passed by parliament. Then we say the law has changed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So okay, the other one is called stepchildren. Okay, for Chinese culture, I'm more familiar. We always have stepchildren and then foster children kind of thing, but these are just verbal or informal. It can be formal where the child stay with the foster parent, but it's not registered, means they are not adopted. If they are not adopted, legally adopted means they will not be recognized in law as a child of that person. And of course, when that person die, he or she will not inherit. Yeah. Okay. So there are implications like this that as a practitioner, you need to know, you need to be aware of. Okay, so the other question in the chat box, I will take a look later on as we go along. Okay, the other thing that I'd like to introduce to you is my famous, I call it 3-box solution. For those who know it, all my ex CAP Module 2 student will know this particular model because I dealt comprehensively. And for those who are new, then you can also learn this one. Actually, they're all in the premier version of my my online training course. They're all recorded and all by topics. Okay, it's not the theoretical or the head knowledge type, the book knowledge type. They're all practical by topics. So a lot of my explanation, you will see this 3-box solution model. And this is actually a system that I developed more than 10 years ago. I've tested over time. I can tell you that it's very stable. And every time, most of the time, all the time, when I explain estate planning situation, then I use back the 3-box solution model. Okay, so I hope you can appreciate it. And if you like to learn more on this, then you can actually subscribe to my online course later on. Okay, so when I mean by 3 box means first one is actually this box. All right.
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. What it means is that in this central box, when a person dies, I call this guy Mr. A. When he dies, all the assets under his name, sorry, I use him, then it will fall under the estate of the deceased of, say, for example, this one, we call him Mr. A. So it fall into Mr. A's estate. Okay. What I mean is that here we're not going to talk a lot about the law. So I'm good being a practical practitioner, and I teach you concept that you can actually grasp it in a more clearer manner. So estate in a way is like an artificial kind of legal person. For example, I am Mr. A, and when I'm around, all the assets under my name, whether they are liquid assets, properties, Senang Berhad shares under my personal name, then I call it assets, my personal assets. So when I go upstairs or when I die, I always say you go upstairs to play mahjong with Lee Kuan Yew, Steve Jobs, and Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan. Then in this physical world, then all the accounts, all the property under my name, nobody can sign because I'm not here to sign physically. All right. So legally, then they call it the estate of deceased or late Mr. A. Okay, just a bit of concept. Mr. A estate can sue people. It can be sued by people. Okay, so in a way, it's a kind of artificial legal kind of entity. And you need another person because I'm not here to sign in this physical world. So in law, they have a way to actually sort out this problem. So you will have to get another person in this physical world called personal representative to so-called step into the shoes of Mr. A and do all the things in the estate, including pay out all the outstanding debts, all the outstanding IRB bills, and then call in the assets, pay bills, and then distribute later on, yeah, to the rightful beneficiary. So rightful beneficiary, just now we already seen it. If a person died without any instruction called a will, then you follow the Distribution Act, where the deceased surviving parent will get a quarter, and then deceased spouse will get another quarter, and deceased children will get half in an equal share. Okay, again, the emphasis is that all this, whether they are parent, they are a spouse, or they are children or issue, it must have legal status. Okay, so the first thing that we look at is the first box, like I mentioned just now, is actually the estate. And the estate, we use the will, the instrument called the will, to handle it. And you will appreciate in this 3-box model that we need multiple solutions, multiple estate planning instruments to solve the whole problem in that sense. Okay, so the first one that I'm talking to you now, just introduce to you, is called the will. All right, so actually the will as a document, the first thing is actually you actually appoint your own executor. And then today, all the children we talk about in our scenario, my assumption is that they are minor children, okay? Or at least the youngest one are still minor. And then you need to appoint the legal guardian inside this wonderful document called the will, okay? Okay, the will is nothing but just a piece of paper, all right? If for those what do you call that? Hokkien speaking city or Hokkien town, then we call Chao Zua, piece of paper only. So you have to put in the detail in here, properly signed, that follows the Wills Act. Then this is your will. And the concept is this is your emperor scroll. So whatever instruction you better put in here, because when you go upstairs, you cannot call down. People downstairs also very difficult to call up. Okay, so whatever instruction, you better get it written down here and leave it somewhere. Make sure that it's legally signed, and then you have legal power, legal effect when one is no more around in this physical world. Okay, so this is a basic concept called a will. And then the second box that I'm going to introduce to you is the one on the right. which is I call the life insurance. Okay, you will know that actually a lot of people's assets or net worth when they die, actually a bulk of them come from insurance. Okay, so it's one of the important estate planning instrument. So we are going to discuss more later on. And of course, the insurance money, the sum assured, or you call the death benefit that will be paid out when Mr. A dies. Where does the money pay to? Okay, so you can use nomination. Or if there's no nomination, or the nomination fail because the nominee die before Mr. A, then you go back to estate. You form part of the estate. Okay, so then you must have something that you say inside the will, what you do with the insurance proceed. Okay, so that is to prove to you that is actually what you call that is the integrated manner in estate planning. Okay, and wow, today, thank you very much. We have 75 people logged in. That is record breaking. And please unmute, please mute yourself, please, so that we can actually do our seminar or our training in more efficient manner. All right, so the other thing that I'd like to introduce to you very briefly is the third box. Okay, here I put private trust, but it's better to call it a living trust. Okay, living trust is actually created by what we call a trust deed. Trust deed means it's a legal document. And yeah, where you actually put in the person who actually set up a living trust is called a settlor. All right, a settlor, when he put into the instruction, input this document, his intention to create a trust, and then he appoint a trustee. You appoint a trustee. Example, this is the R company that I represent. It can be other companies. And then the assets that you put in, it can be your cash, it can be your insurance. It's called insurance trust, very popularly known in the market. Or it can be other assets, even property, but you have to do physical transfer. And also even shares of a company, if you want. But it's actually, it's also, you need to do physical transfer. Okay. And then, right. Okay, so this is very briefly about the three box because there are, of course, there are more things to it. This one we can actually take about half a day to discuss, and just a bit of promotion. Inside this premier version of the online course, there's one video recorded session, 35 minutes, where I explain in more detail, and that is in section 4. Okay, so you can actually subscribe to it later on. So why is it that I actually introduce this three box? Because afterwards, I'm going to use this particular framework or this particular model to explain the four situation of a complicated family situation and how we are going to plan for our clients.